Okay, so we are live. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jonathan Jones. I'm part of the Phys Ed Summit team, and you are live with the Elementary School Roundtable.
Nice.
Yes. We're all pumped to be here, and if you have had a chance to tune in to Block 1, I mean, there's been some great ideas going around, and I'm really excited, for what the event has produced already. And for the next hour, we'll be here with you discussing everything best practices in PE. Before we start, just a little disclaimer that so far nothing has happened with our technical aspects, but if at any time if we get kicked off, then we'll be posting a link via YouTube and the session program. So never fear, we have a backup plan. Actually, we have like 3 backup plans. So no matter what, you will get your roundtable in. I would just like to take a minute to thank Andy Vasily. If you saw his keynote, it is so inspiring, and it really gives us a great understanding of what it means to reflect. And I was extremely pumped up when I viewed his keynote. So thank you to Andy. Also, thank you to Spark PE. Spark PE is our official sponsor for the Phys Ed Summit, and Spark PE is a research-based organization that partners with San Diego State University, and they are a strong supporter of online professional development. You can visit their website at sparkpe.org to learn about teacher resources, on-site workshops, and different content matched equipment. They've also agreed to graciously donate a few items to the participants. So you are the participants, whoever's watching, and they have graciously decided to donate four items. They are donating for raffle. One person will win a Spark dance DVD. One person will win one digital physical education program. Another person will win Summer Institute registration for the PE Institute, which is valued at $400 and around $30. And also, one person will win a $150 gift certificate to the Spark store. So the way that you would enter yourself into the raffle is that after our roundtable, I'll be pushing out a link to fill out our roundtable survey. So just asking you, how you thought things went, improvements, well, basically what you thought about our roundtable. And once you press submit on our survey, then you will automatically enter yourself into the drawing, and the drawing will be by Halloween. I know that some people are also we've gotten emails about professional development credits or professional development units. We'll also be putting out a certificate that states that you participated in the Phys Ed Summit, and you can take that back as your Phys Ed credit, or Phys Ed unit, as it's called some places around the world. Also, you are going to be part of the discussion today. If you're watching, you can join the discussion, ask questions, and the link to today's meet is in the session program, and I also tweeted it out. So if you want to check that out and ask us questions, the roundtable will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Again, my name is Jonathan Jones. I am a teacher at Whitehall Elementary School in Bowie, Maryland. I've been teaching for 8 years, and my co-moderator just joined us, Collin Brooks. He'll be asking questions along with me and moderating the Phys Ed Summit. So, Collin, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? My name's Collin Brooks. Thanks for joining us today for the Phys Ed Summit Elementary Roundtable. And thanks to all our awesome elementary roundtable guests. We're glad you're here as well. All right, Jonathan, I'll hand it back over to you, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, Colin. So what we're going to do now is we are going to introduce our roundtable to you today. We have we have 5 elementary school teachers, and they will introduce themselves. We're going to start with Brooke. Go ahead, Brooke.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke Gustavel, and I'm a K through 2nd phys ed teacher in Talmadge, Ohio at Dunbar Elementary, and I have been teaching full-time for 6 years, so this is my 6th year teaching.
Okay, Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Hell yes. My name is Chris Walker. I teach at Hillsborough Elementary School in Hillsborough, North Carolina, year-round school. This is my 19th year of teaching, and I've been at the same school since '96, and I'm enjoying every single day. So, looking forward to the summit.
Nice. Joe McCarthy.
Hi, my name is Joe McCarthy. I teach at a K-5 school of 700 students in Farmington, Minnesota, which is about 30 minutes south of Minneapolis. I teach 12 25-minute classes every day, and it's my 14th year of teaching.
Thank you, Joe. Go ahead, Jorge.
My name is Jorge Rodriguez, and I am in Houston, Texas. I teach at Harvard Elementary. This is my 8th year of teaching.
And lastly, Marquel Hatcher.
Hi, my name is Marquel Hatcher. I teach at Chesapeake Math and IT Elementary, which is in Laurel, Maryland, in Prince George's County. And this is my 9th year of teaching physical education.
And so we're going to get started with the questions now. Again, this is a discussion, so I'll be posing questions to our roundtable participants, and then they'll be giving their views on the questions that I asked. So the first question is, what are some successes that you've had with your program? It could be either this year or in the past years. And anyone who wants to jump in and answer that, feel free.
I think some successes that I've had in the past 3 years have been real good. Is that I was named the lead elementary teacher of our county of the 7 elementary schools, and I think what that has done for my program is that I've been able to have the professional learning community with my colleagues in my district, and that has really helped me to expand and see different ways of teaching, because a lot of times that I found in my 19 years is like, you're always just teaching by yourself, and you don't get to really collaborate that much except for like a conference, a big state conference, and then it's like really short. But since being the lead teacher, I've been able to organize half-day learning communities with other 6 colleagues, and I've been able to bring in the middle school and high school teachers so we can like link together and learn how to connect all of our programs together. What is the middle school looking for, whether they see lacking elementary schools and so forth with the high school, and there's been a lot of growth there. And for me as a professional, I've been able to grow a lot from that, hearing other aspects and be able to get to a resource that's real close and within county, and then from there I've been able to expand it out through areas in my state in North Carolina to do that as well. So that's been a real good success for me, one of the more recent ones.
Excellent.
I'll go ahead. My success is, I'm actually at a new school this year, but at my former school, I was able to create a total program, and what I mean by that is we had phys ed, but we also had activities, and also able to have programs after school. So it created a huge home school connection, which made our program very successful at my former school. And I plan to do the same thing at the new school where I'm at now.
Very good, Marquel.
Thank you.
I have this may be minor, but I've been able to have everybody in the school call it PE instead of going to gym class, so that's one of my successes. It's always been, hey, we're going to gym class, and I'm like, no, gym is a building, phys ed is a class, thank you.
That gets on my nerves too.
I'll go next. Last couple of years I've been, my district has rolled out a new program called a Key Teacher Program. And so all the new physical education teachers are kind of mentored by a key teacher, and I've been the key teacher for the last couple of years. So it's, it's been a big success in my life, and, kind of giving them, the new teachers, like my physical education philosophy, and kind of, teaching them what I've done right and what I've done wrong, and kind of helping them out that way. So I think that's been a real big success in my career. And then this year I was able to start a morning exercise class based on the book Spark, where they kind of did their morning exercise. And so we've grown in the last 3 weeks from 15 kids that I kind of got teacher recommendations from, 56 kids, which I had last Thursday. And so it's just been exploding, and kids just keep asking if they can join and join. And so I don't want to be overwhelmed, but at the same time I can't deny kids from, wanting to exercise. So that's been big, but I do have to kind of tweak it to manage it a little bit better. But so those have been a couple of successes in my life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll go next. I've been at my school for 10 years, and when every student enters my class, I know their name. And that's very important to me, that every student feels self-empowered, that they feel welcomed, and they are a part of the learning process. And when you enter the gym, there's a big poster out there that says, this is a place to move, learn, and have fun. So every admin that walks by, every parent, every business person, they know exactly what is going on in my class. And then secondly, I have a bulletin board out there, and it shows pictures of students being active. And to me, that's what it's about. Students feel empowered when they see themselves on the bulletin board demonstrating physical activity with smiles on their faces. 2 years ago, my principal changed our mission statement to add in the word physical. So that was a huge accomplishment and honor to me and our program, that she feels that much important, that feels as important to the mission statement, to teaching to the whole child. And going back to what Jorge said, we have a program called Lit PE at our building, been doing since 2008. And I'll take the lowest 30 readers based on the statewide reading assessment. And I'll bring them down to the gym from November to January for only 15 minutes. And these kids will surpass the national average by 5 times in only 15 minutes a day for 12 weeks, which is huge amounts to what we do as a profession. And I hope we can share our success stories even more today.
That's great, Joe.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Great. So, Jonathan, you want me to take question 2 here?
Yeah, you're great.
Have a chance to answer? Awesome. Those are some great answers. It's great to have this discussion and get so many different perspectives from all over our nation. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. All right. So the question that's kind of near and dear to my heart is something that maybe we don't discuss enough, and it is, what are some of the challenges that you faced, and based upon that, how are you still growing and learning as a physical educator based upon some of those challenges?
Hey, Collin, why don't you start off and share your own challenges there to get it going?
I would love to. Thanks, Adam, for putting me on the spot there. So I guess, some of the challenges that I'm having personally right now as far as my teaching are that my school is super overcrowded. I teach 6 class and a halves right now, and I've never had to do that in my teaching career. So I've had the opportunity to raise a lot of money for my program, which I'm very thankful for. But with all that money now, I had appropriate equipment set for, you know, let's say 35, 36 students, just in case there was an extra 5, because I usually have, you know, 30 or so students. So now I have 45 to 50 students within those 6 classes. So for 6 classes of the day. So I'm just working on future advocacy. My principal told me that this would be the only year that this would happen. So I'm looking at finding a way to get that in writing, I guess, because, you know, she's super supportive, but I guess I'm trying to balance out between being Mr. Flexible and being a person that's the yes man, you know, and between that and advocating for quality physical education, because I said that this isn't what's best for students. And, you know, we're going to have a conversation here in the future about the fact that I've established a really, a quality physical education program, but when those 6 classes come in, it's no longer what it was. And I think those are the biggest challenges, and I'm working on kind of establishing the best way that I can approach her and make sure, you know, and just advocate for my program, because it's crucial that we continue to advocate and not always just be, hey, you know, this will be all right for 1 year or whatever. So that's where I'm at. All right. Who's next?
Wow.
I'll go next. So last year I testified to our Senate finance hearing, and I gave a 30-minute brain PowerPoint on all the data and all the research and how what we do is important to the whole child: learning, behavior, academic success, and health. And at the end, a female representative put her hand over her head, shook her head, and said, "Where did I go wrong? My high school daughter loves PE." And she was embarrassed. And in Minnesota, that is the uphill battle that we face, is our decision makers don't believe in what we do. So my mission is to change the non-believers into believers. You know, research is great, but that's not enough right now. We need to go above and beyond what we're doing and bring them into the classroom. They need to experience the setting that we provide, which is quality PE. So that's what I'm facing right now in my profession in Minnesota. Changing non-believers into believers.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man.
I'll go next. One of the challenges that I'm facing this year is our district report card finally changed to a standards-based grading, and art, music, and PE did not change. They said that they would not be changing ours, so we still have effort, skills, and understanding. And and then they also decided that we would grade each grading period, which is 4 grading periods. And it's kind of difficult when I only see those students once a week, and in a grading period, depending on assemblies, pictures, and that sort of thing, that I may only see them 7, 8, 9 times in a quarter, and then I'm expected to give some kind of mark to them, whereas before we used to do the 2nd and 4th grading period, which is fine, but again, still not standards based. And I would really like to talk to my administrators and Board of Ed to try and change that. So that's one of my challenges that I'm facing this year.
I'll go next. I said before, I'm in a new school now with tons of space, but in the past 8 years, I had a lack of space. I had a multi-purpose room that was all, you know, serves as a cafeteria, and I had to teach in a temporary building as well. So it was very difficult, like, to have a class of 35 children and we had, you know, here in Maryland. Very, very difficult. So I've been blessed to be able to transfer to a new school that has a gym that I don't get, kicked out of, or and I don't have to worry about being in a temporary building. But I still know there's teachers in the county that I teach in that are still facing that same problem. They don't have space. There's some people in hallways, people going in classrooms to teach, which makes it really, challenging to teach as a physical educator. So that's the challenge. It's still going on in the county that I'm in now. Like I said, I'm thankful, but there's still tons of other people that are still going through what I've gone through in the past.
I'll go next. So my challenge is the last couple of years I've been real interested in like brain-based research and those types of things, and just as spreading the word and getting people to buy in. That's my biggest challenge, and I think I'm in a good position now, being a key teacher, to spread that kind of philosophy to new PE teachers and just kind of get that going. But yeah, that's my biggest challenge, is to just like everybody else, have people respect what we do and understand that this is part of the development of the child, and it's essential. So that's my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely, there are great challenges with, teaching, and me and Marquel and I, we teach in the same district, and I can definitely echo his thoughts on the space, because I have a multi-purpose room, but since it is a multi-purpose room, I get pushed out all the time, and if the weather's bad, I have to make do with the hallway, a classroom. But I mean, like, whatever your situation is, like, the key component is your concepts and getting the kids active. So those are definitely challenges that I'm sure a lot of people face. And another challenge that people face is classroom management. To the roundtable, how has your classroom management helped you become a better teacher?
I think definitely if you have a routine that you do, every day, that routine is very important. And once those students recognize that routine, I think management works out very well for you in that. So definitely routine for me works for me.
I agree with Brooke. Consistent routine. I have some first-year teachers ask me, like, what I've done. Just be consistent. That's like, it's not a secret. Just consistency will help you be successful as far as management goes.
Hey, John, going back to what you said about space, would the principal ever ask a classroom teacher to go outside? Never. Never.
Of course not.
So, piggyback on what Andy Vasquez said in his keynote, it's a mindset. And I believe in that mindset, that what he says. And until we're considered a core subject, and until we can receive the same funding that the classroom teachers have, we're always going to be on the bottom totem pole. That's why it's so important to invite the school board, the admin, the representatives, the senators, the people of power into our gym. Until we do that, it's not going to change. And I think as a whole group, I think we do an average job of doing that. I think we need to write to our local newspaper. I think we need to attend these conferences. And we need to bring in those decision makers into our classroom and let them experience all the great things that are happening. And going back to classroom management, I think it has to be fun for this child. I think it has to be personal. And I think it has to be meaningful and relevant to the student. If they don't see how it's going to be relevant outside the school day, then it's not worth teaching. You know, to me, if the students are misbehaving, I'm teaching a bad lesson. So I hold myself to a high standard of teaching games that are meaningful, activities that are relevant to the child. And if they can see that we are engaging with them and we're giving them or providing them opportunities to have success and self-empowerment, they're going to buy into what we're trying to sell.
Can I ask a quick question here?
Management.
Can I pop in with a question?
Yeah. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Joe. So this actually could be for the whole group, because I love sitting on this round table, because I'm, by trade, you know, I've taught middle school and high school, so that's most of where my teaching experience has been, so I haven't necessarily taught K-5. How does, like, management, or even, I guess let's focus on management or your classroom environment. How is that different from, say, kindergarten up to 5th grade? Because you have, I mean, developmentally, it's so different. You know, I've been spending some time in my position this year in kindergarten classrooms, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, it is so eye-opening to me to see kindergartners, you know, every day. So how, you know, what are some of the things that you do in your classroom that, you know, different between the levels?
I'll go. For kindergartners, I know for me, I have them for 1 hour, so it's really challenging.
Oh my.
I got them for an hour too.
So
I have pre-K for an hour.
Wow.
You guys are awesome. That's all I got to say.
But just having like say like poly spots on the floor before they come in, so they have some direction of where they should go, boundaries so they know they can't go too far, and just not staying on the same, you know, activity for the same, you know, for a long time, since their attention span is so short. You have to switch it up, you know, really quickly, and just do things to keep them engaged for that long amount of time.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like everybody said, the procedures are real important, and transition, especially with the little kids, are real important. And so I do a lot of games that have very simple, you know, rules, and maybe 1 or 2 that they have to abide by, and then that's it. And then we move on to the next one. And then also I think it's real important with the little ones, especially as they develop. I use a lot of like external motivation, like external reward systems. I use Class Dojo, and I give them a point, and you know, that kind of thing. I constantly reinforce positive behavior. And then as they get older, you know, they start kind of internalizing that, and they start kind of, you know, behaving because of, you know, they realize it's important, and they realize, or not necessarily behaving, but are you know, compliant because of the importance that you put on the particular exercise. But I think a lot of little things with the smaller kids, and then transitions are real important, so they don't just go wild in between activities.
Right.
But a lot of time it's like herding cats. You know,
It
they all
is
have their own little motivation, and you're just like, everybody look at me.
Right.
That's a good description.
Can I chime in real quick? Go ahead, Brooke. You go first.
I was just going to say that I was going to save as Marquel definitely have spots for them to come into, and then once I get up to 2nd grade, I kind of give them more of an instant activity when they first come in. They're able to read a little bit better, so giving simple instructions to them. So I'll piggyback what Marquel said. Definitely having somewhere for them to go right when they get in, and then giving simple instructions, 1 or 2 directions, and if you get 3, 4 directions in there, they'll look at you like you don't know what you're doing.
Definitely. I was just going to share some of the methods that I use with kindergartners. It takes a while, so I think the key, as a lot of us are talking about, is short instruction that has just keywords. And keeping that instruction to about 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, and just very, very, very consistent management. And not only that, I think the biggest key is both positive and specific behavior and skill feedback. like making the biggest deal with kindergartners, like, thank you so much for putting your hands on your knees. It's like the most incredible thing to watch the reaction from the rest of the class. Taking the time to let them know that you notice their positive behavior is the biggest key to, I think, their success within class and making sure that they're engaged.
Patience, a lot of patience.
Yes, a lot of patience.
A lot of patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said, Colin. Definitely, you have to go overboard with what they're doing correctly, and giving them like an Oscar. You are doing the best hands on your knees that I have seen in my life. And they get the biggest smile, then everyone's going, well, gosh, what are they doing? Maybe I need to do that too. So that works for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
With mine, when you enter the gym, I have two huge whiteboards. On one side, it talks about goals, and the other side, it talks about objectives. And I think another key important piece is getting their input. I have from Andy Vast, I have YPE posters at every grade level. I want to know their input. Because they are our sellers. When they go home and talk to mom and dad, I want them talking about PE.
Right.
What did they learn in PE that day?
Right.
For them, they're our biggest sellers. They're our biggest advocates. And the other component is, for me, I have a time element and a goal element for all the activities. So the students know exactly how much time we're going to play the activity and what is the goal. And the goal in my class, they always want to become an expert. The expert is the ultimate goal. When you reach that challenge, I give you another challenge. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to keep working towards it. Because we always want to progress, we always want to grow, we always want to change that mindset of what we're doing is important.
Definitely.
That's in my building.
great.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Awesome. Do we have any more questions or any more comments on that? All right. We're going to open up a new can of worms here. We're going to talk about assessment. So, which we could talk about all day, I'm sure. So we'll just start off with this question. What do your students need to know? What do they need to understand? And what do they need to be able to do within your classes? Any takers to start that conversation?
Got some think time going on for sure.
Yeah, really.
It's a big question.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I'll take that challenge.
Yeah.
My students need to know how to be physically active and eat healthy. They need to know, they want to be lifelong learners of movement. I want my students to love movement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what that movement is. Whether it's walking the dog, here in Minnesota, shoveling the snow, raking the leaves, or playing a sport. If they understand the importance of how movement affects their body and their brain, I've done my job. And to me, that's what I want my students to take away, is the love of being active and how it affects their body, how it affects their brain, how it affects their mood and their sleep. And that's what I want them to know.
That's awesome. Yeah, just the goal of helping them to find ways to be physically active for the rest of their life, whether now and then later within their life. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Joe. Just getting them active and learning how to be active and learning how to move, and definitely that eating part too. I mean, I have lunch duty, so I'm in there while they're eating lunch, and it's amazing what you see, what they're eating. That I don't know. It's just one of my big pet peeves that I see every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to fix that. But definitely getting them to move is definitely one of the enders on that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Brooke and Joe. The one thing that I see, can y'all hear me? Pretty good?
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, the one thing that I found is like connected moving. I know I'm just connected back up. I apologize. That making them see the connection with everyday life movement. Because I know with my kids at the school, I tell them like, hey, you're going to be at that picnic one day. You're going to be at that church family reunion one day, and I want you to learn how to catch. I don't want you to be the one kid that they're laughing at because you cannot catch or you can't move. And just connecting that, and then tell them that as they move along with the functional movement, is the cooperation and being the teamwork, because all of them are going to have different types of teamwork and different things, and learn how to work with different partners, peers, people they love, people they may not love, best friends or not best friends, but just a lifelong learner, and then throwing the health piece. And then that's what I'm always working on, especially with my plate. So that's real good to get them eating a little bit better, because Twinkies aren't the best thing, although they taste good, but they aren't the best thing they should be having at lunch every single day.
Awesome. Isn't it, Jorge, what do you think, buddy? Putting you on the spot.
I agree with everybody. No, I think yeah, obviously I agree with everybody, and I know in Texas we have some standards that we have to, our TEKs that we have to address, and so those are the things that we have to teach in physical education. They're kind of broad, they're kind of general, but also what I like to do is, again, I've done a lot of, I've been on this, brain-based research kick in the last, few months. And I think that's really important to connect those to the physical education and how it develops the brain. And that's what I try to share with my kids. I mean, even in pre-K, I tell them, hey, when you exercise, did you guys know you get smarter? And, it's like an opening thing to them. So to me, bringing that back, bringing that body and brain connection back is really important in my class. And
as Jorge said, in our county, there's standards and things that we have to address. But I know at the end of every class, I always try to say, something that kids could do at home. For example, yesterday we were doing dribbling with our hands. This was first grade, and like I always say, the weather is going to be nice this weekend, so the things that we practice in class, I need you to get outside this weekend and do those same things as well. So some type of way to connect what we're doing in class with their home life, so they continue to participate and love physical activity.
If I could say one more thing, I think it's real important too to get them enjoying physical activity, and not think that it necessarily has to be like this grind or this hard work, or it has to be uncomfortable. Like I love it when my kids come to my class and we play different activities, and they go out and they're sweating and they're breathing hard and their heart rate is racing, and they just feel like they've been playing the whole time, And I always think it's important to let them know that we just did some vigorous activity and you guys loved it. Like, that's the point. You need to love, or you need to enjoy the activities that you choose for your lifetime, and that's gonna benefit you your whole life.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just going back to what Joe and Brooke had said. It's making it seem like they're Oscars or winning Emmys. Is that the more successful you can make them, the better it's going to be. I mean, even if it's the little thing of, hey, you caught the scarf 4 times in a row. Wow. Right. Last time it was 2. And I think the more they feel successful, that they're good, and also to help them get through those times when it's a struggle. And I think a lot of times the kids have a struggle, and I've seen other physical educators just like bypass that kid who can't do something to go to that athlete. And that's when you start getting that negative vibe, and you get that push of, why do we have to have PE? Because those kids have those negative experiences. When they become adults, then they're not doing those things. But we keep them successful and push to that lifelong learner. I think that's where we're going to break that old mold of, not doing anything active later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a middle school guy, and getting first time, as 6th graders, it's amazing. I have I've had 3 elementaries that feed into my middle school, so it's amazing the difference already by the time a child is 12, the difference in the experience that they've had in PE K5 and how that affects their attitudes and perceptions as they come in as a 12-year-old. If they came from an elementary that has a really positive PE program, like, PE is the most amazing class ever, and it makes my job super easy. And then we get the students that come in who unfortunately didn't necessarily have that positive experience K5, and it's amazing the impact that all of you have, K5, and what that sets a kid up for success. Chris, I think you mentioned that, from as soon as they're 12 and then on through the rest of their school life and then life beyond that. So that's I see that. I've been able to see that difference coming in as students. It's kind of an amazing difference that makes just based on that experience in that really short time that you have them.
Yeah, going back to what Adam said, if you look at the research, obesity is considered persistent at age 11. So by the time they get to Adam, it's too late. So what we do by age 11, developing that lifestyle of habit of movement is extremely important. But also we are role models. I bring in pictures and videos of what I do at home with my two boys to show them. Hey, here's what I'm doing at home. I'm a role model because what I'm telling you to do, I need to do myself as well. And then what also Andy said in the keynote, he talked about reflection. Every student and teacher in my district has their own iPad. So the last 1 minute of every lesson, students reflect on what they enjoyed about that activity that day. So I want them thinking about a positive comment or a positive reflection on when they leave PE. So when they go home and talk to their parents, what did they do that day? I want PE to be on their forefront of their brain. I think that's an important piece too, is also the reflection of what the students are doing every day in class.
I like that, Joe. I like that.
Without a doubt.
That's a good connection. Very good connection.
Awesome. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I'd like to hear the, and I think the conversation's going there, but that connection to community and more. Marquel, you brought it up first. I think the conversation, I think it's in the questions, but this is an area where I struggle, and I'm going to go back to moderate on Twitter. So, you folks, I just want to listen.
Yeah, so making that community connection. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with my population, we making that connection with the community, it's not really that challenging because we have, a very supportive, community, and I've done things at my school where I have an open door policy, and so I email every parent at the beginning of the school year saying that if you ever want to come watch a physical education lesson, feel free. Here are the times for your student, and feel free to come in. And I have had parents who have come in, and just for them to see what we're doing, some parents have no idea what's going on, and like the amazing things that are going on in PE classes. And so like I really encourage people to just have an open door policy and invite people to come see you. Do things that will bring attention to your program, because people think they have an idea of what we do, but they really have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true, Jonathan. Like, if you don't say anything, people won't know. You know what I mean? Like, we're at the elementary level. Most of us teach on our own, So it's kind of hard sometimes because you want to be humble, and so I struggle with being like, hey, look what I'm doing. But if you think of the benefit that it gives your students in your program, it's so important to bring notice to your program through different ways, whether it be the media or whether it be trying to track down grants or some kind of state or national awards. Those are all very significant in building a really successful program, and just helping people take notice, because eventually when you do enough of that, people will take notice without you having to say very much at all. So those are things that I've been trying to do to advocate for my program, to let people know what's going on. So why don't we just kind of maybe talk a little bit more about advocacy here, since we're talking about community, and what are some other ways that we're advocating for our programs.
I'll go next.
One of the things. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Jorge. I was just going to say too. This year I have. I won't say that I came up came up with this on my own, but I'm doing what is called a sock monkey challenge. Again, I have K through 2nd, and I went out and bought 25 little sock monkeys and backpacks, and then composition journals. And then every week I choose one student from each class to take that home for the week, and they are to do 4 or more different physical activities with their family, and then write down or take pictures or draw pictures of what they did, and then come back and share with their class what they did. And I wasn't quite sure how it would work, but it's working pretty well, and the students are real excited if they get to take that home, and then when they come back to share, it's been really cool. I mean, the kids are really intense on listening to what they did, and then they can make connections, and so I've been pretty happy with what's going on. I've had a few sock monkeys come back without legs because of younger brothers and sisters or dogs, but I've done some surgery on them. But it's been a really cool thing that I've enjoyed doing this year.
I like that idea.
Thanks. Yeah, I found it online, so I won't take credit for it, but I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, you know, we're PE teachers. We always borrow and get other things from everybody else. So.
Right. Jorge, you had something to say?
Yeah, go ahead, Jorge.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what I've been doing a lot of is social media. I post things on Twitter and Vine. I love making little videos of my lessons, and I'll send them out to all the parents, and I'll send them out to all the teachers, and I'll say, hey, share this with your classroom parents. And the parents, I've gotten so much great feedback of the parents watching those videos and coming back to me and saying, oh my gosh, it's so fun to see my son or daughter playing and laughing in your class. They love PE, and now I can see why, you know, because they watch the videos and they get a little snippet of what PE looks like, and they really, really enjoy that. And I have I'm fortunate enough to work at a pretty good school where there's a lot of parent participation. But I mean, I can't tell you how much feedback, how much positive feedback I get from just those little, you know, 30-second videos that I'll post online, or I'll post on Twitter or whatever that is, and people watch them and they love them.
Very cool, Jorge.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this year I do a website, PE website at school. I always I post weekly, and it says like all of the things that we're going to cover in class, and I've done some YouTube videos of myself performing the skill that we'll be covering that week, and a lot of the kids at school have been watching these videos, so I have kids actually asking if they could be in a video, which, you know, I can't do, but you know, they're watching these videos at home. And last year I did a very successful, we call it Family Fitness Night, and we did, you know, physical activities, and we also had that healthy eating piece that everyone was talking about. We had kids eating Brussels sprouts and participating in physical activity. It was like the best thing ever. So I plan to continue to do things like that to advocate for my program.
Wow, that's like great idea.
Do you guys do a like a field day event, an annual field day event?
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's a big one for me to advocate for my program. I mean, I get 80 volunteers, and they all come, and they all pitch in, and they all do something, and the parents, you know, again, they absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do the field day at the end of the year, and it's like, you know, I do a kindergarten through 2nd grade and a 3rd through 5th grade, and I've done it a lot of different ways, but that's been a big one there. I also have like an extension. I have like a jump rope team that comes and they go perform around the county, different elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, which has been real good. I'm getting back into doing a running club during the school day running club, and also trying to extend it to an after school running club to get parents more involved. And I think, you know, it's helped out a lot. You know, it's this, over the years I've tried different things, but I think the one thing I'm pushing for is similar to what Jonathan was talking about. I was trying to get a consistent website up to where teachers can see videos and stuff. And I've been working with my IT lady this year, and she said she's gonna like videotape a lot of stuff. And I know I get the same thing. Can I be in your video? I'm like, not so much. I love you, but, but that's just that hard part to get them in there. But yeah. I mean, it's other than the field day, I mean that's my big one. But my jump rope team does a pretty good job advocating. And, we do a lot of talking to other schools, about eating right, and jumping and staying healthy, and jump rope something you can do lifelong. Pinning knees and joints. But outside of that, it's been real good. But I'm just trying to push the envelope a little bit more to get that exposure. And I do that. Tell parents to come in, and parents tend to get real sweaty. They don't come back until field day, so they get back in shape. So it works out pretty good, though.
That's great. Hey, real quick, Joe, I know that advocacy is near and dear to your heart. Go ahead and share. I know you've been holding off. Why don't you go ahead and share some of your ideas on advocacy for us, since we haven't heard from you.
All of them have said it. I think all of them are great. I've created my own website. I take pictures and videos of every lesson I teach, and I place it on my website. I place it on my YouTube channel. I think also parent-teacher conferences, that's another great time to advocate for your profession. And if parents have time, they come in and they play the same games that the students play. If they don't have time, I have a TV cart in the hallway of a DVD slide showing all the games and activities that the students do, so that when they walk by, they can see, hey, Mom, Dad, that's the game we played last week. I think another component is, speaking. Next month, I'm speaking to the Minnesota School Boards Association Conference. I'm speaking at the Minnesota Principals Association. I'm speaking at just wherever I can to advocate for what we do. Send letters to the local newspaper. Invite them. Last Thursday we had a folk dance. We brought in a folk band, and all the kids and families came in, and we took pictures and videos, and it was great. All these kids danced to a folk band. So invite Zumba in. Invite these companies in. These companies are willing to support you. In the last 3 years, I've raised over $50,000 from companies who are willing to support active students. So they have money. But it's our job to make that first initial contact. And it should be face-to-face. Go up to the company, give them your business card, and explain what we do. We can reduce child obesity. We can increase brain success. We're the only subject that can do all those great things. So we just need to keep pushing what we're doing and just keep going and keep going and keep going, and don't give up. Don't give up with advocacy.
Awesome.
That was a challenge for me at first. Hitting on what you're talking on, Joe, and really feeling comfortable to go out and engage, the political leaders and principals, administration, school boards that aren't necessarily directly connected to your school. Like when I first started teaching, that was an area where I felt uncomfortable doing that, but is more comfortable I've gotten the more I've taught. I'm in year 7 now. I just feel that the ability to share your story is just so powerful, and you can do that in a multitude of ways, but it's so important to just shine a light on the learning that's happening in our classroom, and that is that's been kind of the change for me, or the switch for me, in feeling comfortable doing a lot of those advocacy pieces.
But I also think, I saw a video of Adam walking down the sidewalk, and I think how he dresses is also equally important. Wear khakis, wear a polo shirt. Look the part. I saw Adam wearing a sport coat and I think a tie. I think that's also equally important, is how we, our appearance, and how we look, how we speak, and how we handle ourselves in the classroom.
I'm not teaching in a PE classroom this year, so that's part of the reason I had a sport coat and tie on. But the point is well taken, regardless.
Adam, you're a true professional, man.
Yeah, definitely. So
Awesome.
we're coming to the end of our roundtable time. I'm sad to say, because this conversation has been hot.
All right.
I really enjoyed it. What I'm going to ask the roundtable participants to do is, in 30 seconds, what advice would you give? What is one piece of advice you would give to a new teacher?
I'll go first on that. I think the biggest thing is connecting with your colleagues, whether it's in your district or out of your district. But try to go out and connect and find out what they're doing, because there's usually within your district, and if not, or outside your district, somebody's successful. Like, you know, if I was near Joe, I'd be over at school watching how he does those videos day to day, or at least once a week. But I mean, doing things like that, I think for a new teacher coming in is the key thing, because I mean, no matter what college you go to, you probably have a good base, but you need to get out and connect and see how it's done on a day-to-day scene, because when you get thrown out there, you know, and you got those babies running at you, whether it's middle, high school, elementary school, it's a lot different than what it was in that textbook. And it's a lot different than student teaching, because it's you now. And you're the resource, but you need to go find those other resources, and don't wait, you know, until it's, you know, 20 years down the road or 5 years down the road when you're burned out. Get them now, because people are willing to help.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just gonna say the same thing, Chris. Definitely get involved. Get involved in your local association, your national association. Get online. This is my first year on Twitter, and look at me now. I'm at the Phys Ed Summit, so it's been awesome. Just get involved. Get involved. Definitely with your colleagues. Talk to them about your program. You know, like you said before, you're the only one that can advocate for them. So.
I agree as well. Get involved and get to know people. I was at a convention with Jonathan actually last Friday. We have a group of people in our county that complain a lot, but we never see them at any of the professional development, nothing. So I feel as if, you know, if you get out and know people and talk, you know, you can be successful in teaching PE.
Yeah, I would just add, you know, obviously it's important to get involved, that connect with people, you know, as many people as you can, experienced teachers, but also don't be afraid to fail. I mean, as a new teacher, you're going to fail, you're going to fall. Don't be afraid to fail, try new things, and every time you fail, you know, you get up and learn something from it and keep on going. I know when I started, I failed a lot, you know, and I'm still failing. I still try new things, and I still find ways to tweak it and make it better, and it's not a bad thing, you know. So connect with people, and like I said, don't be afraid to fail, and ask as many questions as you can.
Yeah, I got a good hop on that real quick. I know, last little word. Never stop learning. I think that's the key. If you never stop learning, you're gonna grow. And like I said, I think that comes to those failures. I mean, it's like, you know, 19 years in, I'm still going to every conference I can get to, you know, and every convention. You know, I've been a Spark trainer here in North Carolina, traveling, and I'm always talking. You know, people say I talk too much. But, hey, it's me.
And Joe?
Oh, and if I can add one more thing, share.
Right.
I think it's very important to share as well.
Yes,
Sorry.
I agree. No worries.
And Joe, go ahead.
I truly believe that what we do has the power to change young people's lives. And I think giving students the empowerment and ownership of their learning is also equally important. And I think finally, it goes back to advocacy. I think you need to present at your school board meeting, you know, because when it's times to make decisions and they're not thinking about you, you're going to be cut. So I think being proactive is much more powerful than being reactive, because once they cut you, you're not going to get your job back. So make sure they know your name, they know your program, and the students speak highly about you.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome.
I would just like to.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
I would just like to thank everyone who was kind enough to be on this roundtable. Brooke, Chris, Joe, Jorge, Marquel. Thank you so much for all your insight, and you know, I hope that people who are watching live on YouTube really saw, you know, the passion with which, you know, all of you spoke with. And if you're watching live on Twitter, make sure you also fill out our roundtable survey, which will be posted. We'll be sending a link out following our session, and with that link, once you submit the survey, you will receive your chance to enter into the Spark drawing. We'll be drawing by Halloween.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank
real
you, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Johnson.
So
Thank you, John.
real quickly, everyone, too. I just think that this is just evidence that our profession is really thriving, and it's just great to be in a room full of like-minded people. And I have to say that I've been monitoring the Today's Meet talk, and it's just blowing up. There's tons of people commenting that are entering in conversations with themselves. Twitter's the same, and it's just great to know that our profession is thriving and it's in good hands. And thanks for being a part of it. We appreciate it. And if you're one of the individuals in this talk, make sure you stick around after we end the live conversation here.
Yeah, please hang on just a second. We'll end the live feed, and please just stay in the room for a minute.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Jonathan.
Thank you, everyone.
So
Yeah.
for the Phys Ed Summit Elementary Roundtable, see you next time.